Hi first grade friends, hi first grade families. It's Mrs. Anderson here and my dog Akoya. She's a good little thing. She loves hearing stories. Well, welcome to our new story of the night. And each night I'll be with you reading our new story. And thank you for the suggestions, boys and girls. And the first grade teachers, we thought it was a really good idea to stick with our characters Jack and Annie and their amazing adventures. And so with me, you are going to read the 6th book in the Magic Treehouse series called dun, 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 Afternoon on the Amazon. It's one of my favorites. I want you to think, before we begin, about what you know about the Amazon. Now, I'm not talking about the boxes that come to the front door and they say Amazon. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a place called the Amazon, and it is filled with a variety, like so many different organisms. Say that with me, organisms. That means any living thing. So this week, if you have some time, just ask Mom, go to Google and ask, what is the Amazon? Okay? Now let's get started. So, Afternoon on the Amazon by our lovely author, Mary Pope Osborne. You should check her out. She's got a lot of great books. So, Afternoon on the Amazon. And look, you can already kind of see, maybe that'll be one of the characters. And here's our table of contents. So tonight we're going to read the prologue, and the first chapter. So those of you who haven't listened or read a Magic Treehouse book before, the prologue gives you a really good idea of what this series is about with the Magic Treehouse. So here's an illustration to get us started. The prologue. One summer day in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania, a mysterious treehouse appeared in the woods. 8-year-old Jack and his 7-year-old sister Annie climbed into the treehouse. They found it was filled with books. Jack and Annie soon discovered that the treehouse was magic. It could take them to places in the books. All they had to do was to point to a picture and wish to go there. Oh, bye, Akoya. Jack and Annie visited the times of the dinosaurs, knights, pyramids, pirates, and ninjas. Along the way, they discovered that the treehouse belongs to Morgan Le Fay. Morgan is a magical librarian from the time of King Arthur. She travels through time and space gathering books. In their last adventure, Night of the Ninjas, Jack and Annie learned that Morgan was under a spell. To free her, Jack and Annie had to find 4 special things. In old Japan, they found the first thing, a moonstone. I wonder what that looks like. Now Jack and Annie are about to set out in search of the second thing in Afternoon on the Amazon. All right, so now we're all caught up and we know what's going on. Let's go to Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is called, Where's Peanut? Hurry, Jack, shouted Annie. Annie ran into the Frog Creek woods. Jack followed her. It's still here, Annie called. Jack caught up with Annie. She stood beside a tall oak tree. Jack looked up. The magic treehouse was shining in the afternoon sunlight. We're coming, Peanut, Annie called. She grabbed the rope ladder and started up. I can picture that in my mind, a rope ladder. Jack followed. They climbed and climbed. Finally, they climbed into the treehouse. Peanut, said Annie. Jack took off his backpack and he looked around. Sunlight slanted across a stack of books. Books about ninjas, pirates, mummies, knights, and dinosaurs. The letter M shimmered on the wooden floor. M for Morgan Le Fay. I don't think Peanut's here, said Jack. I wonder where she is, said Annie. How do you know Peanut's a she? Asked Jack. I just know, said Annie. Oh, brother, said Jack. Squeak. Annie laughed. Look, Jack. A small pink sock was moving across the floor. Yesterday, Annie had turned her sock into a bed for Peanut. Annie picked up the tiny lump. Squeak! A brown and white mouse peeked out of the sock. She looked from Annie to Jack with her big eyes. Jack laughed. "Hi, Peanut," he said. "Will you help us again today?" asked Annie. In old Japan, Peanut had helped them when they'd gotten lost. "We have to find 3 more things for Morgan," said Annie. Jack pushed his glasses into place. "First, we have to find a clue that tells us where to begin," he said. "Guess what?" said Annie. "What?" said Jack. "We don't have to look very far." She pointed at a corner of the treehouse. In the shadows was an open book. I think that was a pretty good first chapter. So I like, as I'm reading and listening, using my imagination to paint like a picture in my mind, and I hope you guys will be doing the same. I wonder what the book looks like. What is the book open to? What page is it on? So many questions. So, you guys, I hope you had a great day. I hope you have a great night. Sweet dreams. And I will meet you here again tomorrow. Good night.